All right, hi everybody. I'm just going to do a little stream of consciousness chat today and talk some about sacred geometry. And I found some great visual aids when I did a search for vortex-based mathematics. This is stuff I'm always exploring because it's interesting. And the the contemplation of the geometry really does help a person to see the connections and the greater picture of the template of our reality matrix. You know, let's see, there's a good visual aid down here actually, and I blew it up a bit. But this is has a lot of interesting stuff in it that's related to sort of a lot of the theme of my personal research for a while now. And I personally think that geometry is simply the revealing of mathematical templates of the matrix, the Ma. And Mary, of course, is one mythological expression of the mother. But it's interesting because, first of all, this kind of is revealing as to why, like, I love to do nature photography, but I especially love flowers. And part of that is because flowers have, flowers really reveal the embedded geometry in the template of our reality. So it's like no matter how it expresses itself, this core geometry is simply a way to sort of map out and quantify the archetypal structure of our matrix. And different religious systems and different systems of thought will express the same architecture in different ways. But Mary, the Ma, the matrix, she represents the housing of the soul. And this really relates to that infinity in a box video that I made. A lot of people see this reality and they talk about the matrix as a trap. And of course it can be. But in the big scheme of things, in the real truth of it is, this matrix is a gestation. And that is like a whole, that's a whole realizational process for each and every person to go through. But who are you and why are you here and what are you doing in a matrix? The root of the word matrix is womb. So it's very interesting to me, and this reveals to me the core about why people talk all the time about sacred geometry. It's not just geometry, it's sacred geometry. Well, I think the reason for that is totally revealed here with Mary in the geometry. Okay, so we look at the word sacred, connected with God or the gods, or dedicated to a religious purpose. And so many of the religious systems, of course, naturally have tapped into this, to the Torah and to the geometry, the basic geometry and fundamentals of creation, and then they express it through archetypal mythology, and they clothe. It's like this is how the archetype becomes clothed. They took this basic geometric shape and pattern and they clothed it, and they get a woman standing in her robes. And that's what this is really comes down to, I think. So religious rather than secular, embody the laws of doctrines of religion, or regarded with great respect and reverence by a particular religion, group, or individual. So an animal sacred to the Mexican culture. And the root of the word sacred comes back to consecrate. Oh, isn't that telling? So we go to consecrate, make or declare something, typically a church, sacred. That says it all, doesn't it? And so what is really sacred to you is what it comes down to. And so I can understand why people call it sacred geometry. So this is how we impact the subconscious more deeply. If something is consecrated, it's got more power in the subconscious mind. And so when someone consecrates an object, it's really about giving that object power and the corresponding you know, either the corresponding symbolism or power of that object will influence the subconscious, for better or for worse. So, anyway, all of this really, I wanted to show you guys also this mandala. This is a sand mandala. These Tibetan sand mandalas fascinate me because all of these are just different, this is just different colored sand. And they're so detailed about it. I mean, they're like placing each grain of sand where it belongs. It's a really interesting art because then they destroy the sand mandala after it's created. They take a picture of it and then it's gone. I love that. That's like transitory art, and it's the way life is. And this mandala reveals so much. See, you have the circle and the square in the core of the geometry, but look at the way the flowering process is emerging from that base geometry. So you have these clusters of flowers, and you have these, you know, deviating squiggly shapes, and that don't take the shape of the geometry. They emerge from it. So it's like all of this wildness of nature, and all of the blades of grass and the leaves on the trees. I see that as emerging from this core matrix, and this core geometry that is sort of discernible as being the template beneath the surface of this reality. Anyway, I hope I'm explaining this well. I'm just kind of rambling about it, but I've just been thinking a lot about geometry and platonic solids. And, you know, the dot, really honestly, you see this cone emerge, and this also relates to the same kind of geometry, and to the geometry of light, really. But anyway, okay, so I better go. It's getting late. I just wanted to do a little random talk about that, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'll be back with more soon.